There is someone you will never escape. Someone who will be there when you wake up tomorrow morning. Someone who will follow you into every room, every opportunity, every failure, every victory, every moment of doubt, every night when the world becomes quiet. You will spend your entire life with this person, and that person is you. So here is a question most people never stop long enough to ask. What kind of relationship do you have with yourself? Because you can change your job, you can leave a city, you can walk away from relationships, you can change your environment, but there is one person you cannot walk away from: yourself. And if the voice inside your own mind has become your enemy, then no external success will ever give you peace. You can build the body, make the money, earn the respect, achieve the goal, and still wake up every morning fighting a war inside your own head. A war where you are both the attacker and the victim. Think about that. You cannot spend your entire life tearing yourself apart and somehow expect yourself to become strong. You cannot constantly remind yourself of everything you've done wrong and expect yourself to move confidently toward everything you could do right. You cannot encourage yourself to fly while cutting your own wings. At some point, you have to choose which side you're on, and today, we're going to make that choice. There are two voices inside almost every person. One says, keep going, try again, you can learn, you can become better, you survived yesterday, handle today. And then, there is another voice, the quieter one sometimes, the crueler one. It says, you're not ready. You're not good enough. You always mess things up. Look how far behind you are. Other people have something you don't. Maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you should stop trying before you embarrass yourself again. And here's what makes that second voice dangerous. Eventually, you stop recognizing it as a voice. You start recognizing it as truth. You say, I'm just being realistic. But are you? Or have you repeated the same judgment so many times that you've forgotten it was ever a judgment? There is an enormous difference. Epictetus taught that human beings are disturbed not simply by events, but by the judgments they form about those events. Think about what that means for your own life. Something happens, you fail, that's the event. But then your mind adds, I'm a failure. Those are not the same thing. Someone rejects you. That's the event. Then your mind says, nobody will ever want me. Again, not the same thing. You make a mistake. That's real. But then comes, I always ruin everything. That's a judgment. You look at someone further ahead than you and think, I'm falling behind. You experience uncertainty and think, I'm incapable. You feel afraid and think, I'm weak. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin constructing a prison out of sentences, not iron bars, words. Marcus Aurelius spent much of his life writing to himself. Think about how strange and powerful that is. The most powerful man in the Roman Empire repeatedly sat down and reminded himself how he wanted to think, how he wanted to behave, what mattered, what didn't. What was within his control, what wasn't. His private writings weren't written for millions of followers. They weren't written for applause. They were reminders, because even an emperor needed to train his own mind. And so do you. The mind does not automatically become disciplined because you want it to. The mind is trained, just like the body. You wouldn't walk into a gym once, lift one weight, and expect permanent strength. Mental strength works the same way. Your inner voice is being trained every day. The question is, what are you training it to become? Every time something goes wrong and you say, of course, nothing ever works for me, you are training something. Every time you compare yourself to someone else and say, I'll never be like that, you are training something. Every time you make a mistake and spend the next 3 days insulting yourself, you are training something. But the opposite is also true. Every time you fail and say, "Good. What can this teach me?" you are training something. Every time fear says, "Don't do it," and you answer, "We're doing it anyway," you are training something. Every time your mind says, "You can't handle this," and you respond, "I don't know if I can, but I'm going to find out," you are training something. This is the mental gym. Not pretending everything is perfect, training yourself to respond better when it isn't. And this is where people misunderstand self-respect. They think being kinder to yourself means lowering your standards. It doesn't. Being your own ally does not mean lying to yourself. It doesn't mean saying, "I'm perfect." It doesn't mean ignoring your mistakes. It doesn't mean making excuses. And it certainly doesn't mean avoiding responsibility. In fact, real self-respect requires more responsibility. Imagine a great coach. When an athlete fails, does a great coach say, "You're worthless. You'll never succeed. Why do you even try?" No. But a great coach also doesn't say, "Everything you did was perfect. Don't change anything." That would be useless. A great coach says, "That wasn't good enough. Here's where you failed. Here's what needs to improve. Now get up. We're going again." Firm, truthful, constructive. That's how you need to learn to speak to yourself, not like a victim, not like an enemy, like a coach. Because there is a massive difference between "I failed" and "I am a failure." Between "I made a bad decision" and "I always destroy everything." Between "I'm struggling right now" and "I'll never change." The first statement gives you information. The second gives you an identity. And identities are dangerous, because eventually we begin behaving according to them. Suppose you tell yourself, "I'm lazy." Maybe you've said that for years. Every time you procrastinate, "See, I'm lazy." Every time you miss a workout, "That's just who I am." Every time you lose focus, "I have no discipline." Eventually, when an opportunity to become disciplined appears, your own identity fights against you. Why? Because your mind wants consistency. You've already decided who you are. Now imagine replacing the judgment, not with fantasy, with responsibility. Instead of "I'm lazy," say, "I've been acting without discipline." Notice the difference. One is an identity, the other is a behavior, and behaviors can change. "I'm terrible with money" becomes "I haven't learned how to manage money properly yet." "I'm socially awkward" becomes "I need more practice communicating confidently." "I never finish anything" becomes "I've developed a habit of quitting when things become uncomfortable." Now we have something we can work with. That's the difference between attacking yourself and examining yourself. The Stoic does not need comforting lies, but neither does he need destructive ones. He needs truth. So I want you to do something, not tomorrow, not when this video ends and you forget about it. Right now, think of one sentence you repeatedly use against yourself. Maybe it's, "I'm not good enough." "I'm too old." "I'm too young." "I'm behind." "I'm weak." "I'm unlucky." "I always fail." "I don't have what it takes." Whatever yours is, notice it. Don't fight it. Don't panic because it exists. Just look at it and ask, is this an objective fact or a judgment I've repeated so often that it feels like one? That question can change a lot, because you cannot challenge a voice you don't realize you're listening to. There's another uncomfortable truth. Sometimes being your own worst enemy feels safe, because if you convince yourself you're going to fail before you begin, you never have to risk discovering what would actually happen. If you say, "I'm not ready," you can wait. If you say, "I'm not talented," you don't have to practice. If you say, "People like me don't succeed at things like this," You never have to face rejection. Self-criticism can disguise itself as protection. Your mind says, "I'm trying to save you from disappointment." But the price of never being disappointed is never discovering what you're capable of, and that's too expensive. Fear will happily build you a comfortable cage. It will even convince you the cage is wisdom. The Stoic response is different. You don't need certainty. You need the courage to act responsibly without it. You don't need to know whether you'll succeed. You need to know what the next right action is. That's enough. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly returned to the importance of dealing with what was immediately in front of him. Not controlling tomorrow, not controlling everyone else. This moment, this responsibility, this action, that's incredibly useful when your own mind begins attacking you. Because the destructive voice loves enormous questions. What if I fail? What if I'm never successful? What if everyone rejects me? What if my life doesn't work out? What if I'm not good enough? Bring it back. What can you control today? Maybe you can't guarantee the business succeeds. But can you work for one focused hour? Do that. Maybe you can't guarantee the relationship works. But can you have the conversation you've been avoiding? Do that. Maybe you can't transform your body tonight. But can you train today? Do that. Maybe you can't eliminate anxiety about your future, but can you take the next responsible step? Do that. Your mind wants certainty about the entire mountain. You only need enough courage for the next foothold. And something interesting happens when you live this way. You begin collecting evidence. Evidence that contradicts the voice telling you you're incapable. You said, "I can't handle uncomfortable conversations." Then you had one and survived. You said, "I can't wake up early." Then you did it for 7 days. You said, "I can't stay disciplined." Then you trained when you didn't feel like training. You said, "I'll never finish." Then you finished one thing. Maybe it wasn't perfect. Doesn't matter. You finished. And now your mind has a problem because it has evidence. You have shown yourself, "I can do difficult things." This is how confidence is actually built. Not by staring into a mirror and repeating that you're unstoppable, by keeping promises to yourself, small ones, especially when nobody is watching. If this is hitting something you've been dealing with, I want you to leave one sentence in the comments. I choose my side. Not for me. Use it as a line in the sand. Because there comes a point where you have to decide whether you're going to continue participating in your own destruction or start participating in your own development. I choose my side, and then prove it with what you do next. Now, there is something else you need to understand. You will not eliminate the negative voice permanently. That's not the goal. You're human. There will be days when doubt returns, days when you're exhausted, days when you compare yourself, days when something fails and your first thought is, "Maybe I'm not capable of this." Mental strength does not mean never having that thought. It means that thought no longer gets the final vote. That's a huge difference. Your mind says, "Quit." You say, "No." Your mind says, "You're embarrassed." You say, "Then I'll learn." Your mind says, "They don't believe in you." You say, "That's outside my control." Your mind says, "What if you fail?" You say, "Then I'll know more than I knew before I tried." Your mind says, "You're afraid." You say, "I know," and you move anyway. That is strength, not silence inside your head, authority inside your head. Think about the person you care about most. Imagine they came to you after failing at something important. They look at you and say, "I tried. It didn't work. I feel like I'm not good enough." Would you look them in the eyes and say, "You're right. You're pathetic. You always ruin everything. You should stop trying"? Probably not. So why does that language suddenly become acceptable when the person suffering is you? Again, this does not mean avoiding accountability. Sometimes you need to tell yourself, "You knew better." Sometimes you were lazy. Sometimes you didn't prepare. Sometimes you hurt someone and you need to make it right. Good, take responsibility. But responsibility should produce correction, not self-destruction. Guilt that leads to repair can be useful. Shame that becomes identity can trap you. Learn the lesson. Repair what you can, then move. You do not honor your mistakes by carrying them forever. You honor them by becoming someone less likely to repeat them. There is a reason this matters beyond simply feeling better. The way you speak to yourself affects the risks you're willing to take, the boundaries you're willing to set, the opportunities you notice, the relationships you tolerate, the goals you pursue, the way you recover from failure. Imagine two people experience the same rejection. The first thinks, "Of course they rejected me. I'm not good enough." The second thinks, "That hurt. What can I learn? And what do I do next?" Same event, different judgment, different action, eventually different life. That's why guarding your inner dialogue matters. Not because every thought magically becomes reality. It doesn't. But thoughts influence decisions. Decisions repeated become habits. Habits shape character. Character influences the direction of a life. So no, you don't need to believe every motivational phrase you hear. You need something much more useful. You need to become careful about what you repeatedly teach yourself to believe. There's a simple practice you can start tonight. When you catch yourself making a destructive judgment, stop. Then separate three things: the fact, the story, the action. For example, I didn't get the promotion. That's the fact. I'm never going anywhere in life. That's the story. Ask for feedback, improve my skills, and decide my next move. That's the action. Another, the relationship ended. Fact. I'll always be alone. Story. Grieve honestly. Learn what I need to learn. Rebuild my life. Action. Another, I broke my routine this week. Fact. I have no discipline. Story. Return to the routine tomorrow morning. Action. See what we're doing? We're not pretending pain doesn't exist. We're removing the unnecessary poison. Fact. Story. Action. The mind loves stories. The Stoic returns to action. And the more you practice this, the less chaotic your inner world becomes. Not because life becomes easier, because you stop adding unnecessary suffering to necessary difficulty. Failure already hurts. You don't need to add, I'm worthless. Rejection already hurts. You don't need to add, nobody will ever value me. Being behind already feels uncomfortable. You don't need to add, my life is over. You have enough battles to fight. Stop volunteering to fight yourself too. And here's perhaps the most important part. Being on your own side does not mean putting yourself above everyone else. It means becoming someone you can rely on. When you say you'll train, train. When you say you'll stop, stop. When you say you'll begin, begin. When you make a mistake, admit it. When you hurt someone, apologize. When you're exhausted, recover. When you're afraid, listen to the fear, examine it, and then decide whether it deserves authority. Become trustworthy to yourself, because every broken promise teaches your mind something, and every kept promise does too. You don't build self-respect through thoughts alone. You build it through evidence. One day you may realize that the voice inside your head has changed. Not completely, but enough. Something goes wrong, and instead of, why does this always happen to me? You hear, okay, what's next? You fail, and instead of, I'm useless, you hear, that wasn't good enough. Let's improve it. Someone criticizes you, and instead of collapsing, you ask, is there anything useful here? You're afraid, and instead of running immediately, you ask, what is actually within my control? That's progress, quiet progress. The kind nobody applauds, but it's the kind that changes everything else. If you want to build that kind of mind, subscribe to the mental gym. Not because subscribing changes your life. It doesn't. Training does. But that's what we're building here. A place to return to and train the part of you that the world cannot train for you. Your judgment, your discipline, your character, your mind. And if you're already part of this community, keep training. We're just getting started. Now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. Not richer, not more famous, not more successful. Forget all of that for a moment. Imagine simply being at peace with the person you've become. Imagine knowing, when things became difficult, I didn't abandon myself. When I failed, I corrected myself without destroying myself. When everyone else doubted me, I didn't automatically join them. When I was wrong, I admitted it. When I was afraid, I still moved. When I fell, I became the person who helped me stand back up. That's strength. And maybe that's one of the most important relationships you'll ever build. The relationship between the person you are and the person responsible for taking care of that person, you. Tonight, when everything becomes quiet, listen carefully. Listen to the way you speak to yourself when nobody else can hear. And ask, would I speak this way to someone I was trying to strengthen or someone I was trying to destroy? Don't run from the answer. Use it. Because starting tomorrow, that voice will still be there. The world will still be difficult. People will still disappoint you. Plans will still fail. Fear will still visit. Doubt will still speak. But you can decide something tonight. You can decide that when the world becomes difficult, you will not make yourself another enemy. You will tell yourself the truth. You will hold yourself accountable. You will demand discipline. You will correct your mistakes. But you will stop confusing cruelty with strength. You will stop turning temporary failures into permanent identities. You will stop cutting your own wings and wondering why you cannot fly. Become your own coach. Become your own ally. Become the voice that says, get up, learn, try again. We're not finished, because you are the one person you will live with for the rest of your life. So become someone you can trust, someone who tells you the truth without destroying you with it. Someone who demands more from you because they know what you're capable of becoming. Someone who refuses to let one bad day become a bad life. And from this moment forward, when that old voice tells you you're not enough, answer with action. When it says, you can't handle this, answer, watch me learn. When it says, it's too late, answer, I'm still here. And when it asks, whose side are you on? Make sure the answer is clear. I choose my side. If you're making that choice today, leave those words below. I choose my side. Then close this video and do something that proves you meant it. Take care of your mind, train your character, and keep becoming stronger. This is the Mental Gym. Until next time.